Welcome back to On the Money with financial advisor Ryan Wheelis of Allied Wealth. Ryan, I'm really, really glad to have you. I mean, I look at this stuff. You know that I like to ask you questions on it, but last week is the kind of week where I'm texting you a lot, say what's going on, and you're telling me even to calm down. Here's the thing. Just out of a regular article I saw on the average contributions to 401k plans, I got to say I kind of liked the numbers. There was actually healthier than I thought. The average American was directing in about $8,800 of their 2024 salaries, a little more than half of what they actually can. The average employer kicking in close to another $4,800, looking at a figure about maybe $14,000 or so a year. Pretty good. What I also saw last week was all of these online articles, as soon as the chaos in the markets was happening, saying, should I stop contributing to my 401k? I saw at least 5 different articles like that. And quite frankly, I think the title of it is dangerous on its own. I mean, if you're working, aren't you getting the market on sale when you're buying, when the market is down like this?
Well, let's just stop. This is nonsense. Okay. And here's why it's nonsense. Like this article, right? It says the people put in $8,800, right? Mm-hmm. The employers matched $4,770.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that means if the person working, and just using these averages here,
mm-hmm.
puts in $4,770, okay? Their employer puts in another $4,770. The last time I checked, that is a 100% return on the dollars you put into your 401k. I don't know anywhere else out there that I can get a guaranteed 100% return. Okay? And folks, you're not actually getting a return in the markets. I get that. But if your employer matches you dollar for dollar up to a certain amount, you always put in that much because you're getting 100% return or a match on your contribution. That is if you hear me right now and you have that option at work, please hear me. Make a contribution to your 401k equal to the match. At least do that. And then if the market starts going down, who cares? You already got 100% return on your dollars. All right? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And the way you can think about it too is this: if you put in this money in the market, all right, let's say this happens. We've got, let's make it $4,400. So you put in $4,400. Your employer matches you $4,400. So $8,800 went into the markets. Okay. If the market drops by 50%, you still have your money. The only thing gone is what, Spike?
Your supposed gains. Yeah.
Well, the employer match. Remember, you put in $4,400. Your employer put in $4,400. All right, we got $8,800. The market drops 50% in your 401k. Your $4,400 is still in your 401k. And you're likely in a situation where if the market goes down 50%, it's going to come back because guys like Ryan Wheelis are going to start buying into the markets like crazy. All right. And there's a lot more guys out there and gals too that have way more money than I do. And they're going to be doing the same thing because the market gets to a point where it's so discounted that money will flood into the markets. And by the way, that's what happened last week when the market was up 12%.
Mm-hmm.
Money started flooding right back into the markets. People started buying like crazy. And that's what happens. And so, Spike, it's just one of those things where don't stop putting money in your 401k. It needs to be big. It's going to finance the most expensive thing you're ever going to pay for in your life, and it's your retirement. And I got news for you, folks. Retirement has changed. The onus of retirement is on your shoulders. The quality of life you live in your golden years is on your shoulders. And I'm telling you right now, you better have something more than a 401k. You better have something more than a brokerage account. You better have something more than annuities. You better have something more than life insurance. You better have something more than estate planning and trust and wills and probate and long-term care and Medicare, right? You better have something more than just mutual funds and ETFs, okay? You better have something more than private equity. What you better have is a plan. People don't plan to fail in retirement. They fail to plan for retirement. We have a retirement crisis going on in this country. Google that. You will see it all over the place, all right? You don't have to be a victim to that crisis. Get a plan. And there's no reason not to have a plan because it's free. We don't even charge for it. 844-944-7555. Pick up your phone right now. 844-944-7555. Knowledge is not power, folks. Applied knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
Get a plan today. Apply the knowledge. Text the word plan to 21,000. Again, text plan to 21,000. My team of certified financial planners is standing by right now to help you solve your retirement equation. And that is, how do you live 30 years, 40 years into retirement with all the ups and downs of a stock market, potentially 4 or 5 more presidential elections, like more than that, could be as many as 7 presidential elections. Okay. Tariffs, taxes. How do we survive all that? Well, you survive it with a plan. Get yours right now by texting the word plan to 21,000. Again,
21000. Yeah. You just type in the word plan and type in 21000. You hit send on that. We're going to respond to you. All right. We'll make the appointment for you, or 844-944-7555 for those listening on the radio. I need to tie some things though together, because if we go back even just 20 minutes ago, we realize that the closer you are to retirement, we're talking about in-service withdrawal, in-service rollover. When we say in-service withdrawal, this isn't meaning you're withdrawing funds for spending. You're withdrawing it from what is the work retirement account, possibly rolling it over into your own IRA to let you invest it however you want to. It's having a plan for that. And the reason why is we don't want to be too risky with what could be a very large chunk. Let's say somebody's been working for somebody for 20 years. They're going to have a very large 401k or 403b or TSP or whatever it might be, 457. But we still do want to be contributing to be getting the market dollar cost average. Even if we're a couple of years away, it's keep putting money into that, keep getting the match, but maybe we can roll out some of it.
Well, Spike,
or a big chunk of it?
Let's say that you're hearing my retirement income style and you're thinking to yourself, Ryan, I'm not 100% risk focused, but I'm also not 100% safety first focused. What can I do? Because if you think about it, Spike, the only thing you can do inside of a 401k is be in the market or be in, and when I say the market, by the way, the stock market and the bond market, that's the market. And there's as much risk in the bond market, by the way, as there is a stock market. People don't realize that, but there is, okay? But all of those options in your 401k, except for one, have a common thread. And the value of those accounts will go up or down based on stock market or economic conditions. You cannot control that, okay? You could be in the stable value fund. You could do that. But if your stable value fund is paying 3% and inflation's running 3%, you're making 0. And if inflation's running higher than that, you're actually losing money while you sleep at night. And that's pretty terrifying, okay? So what you could do is say, okay, Ryan, let's say that I'm a blend. Let's say that I want some risk, but also want some safety and guarantees. What you could do is if you have $1 million in your 401k, all right, let's take $500,000 out of the 401k via an in-service withdrawal. That's a non-taxable event. Roll that money over to a Charles Schwab, wherever we roll it to, okay? When that happens, we can put together a safety plan for you that says, hey, I want to buy some properly structured annuities. I want to buy some private credit funds. I want to buy some structured notes. But in all this, I want to know that either I have contractual guarantees of income or something with way less volatility than the stock market that provides a reasonably stable, reasonably consistent interest rate that I can count on. And those options are out there. And so that's a good plan. Then you leave the rest of your money in the 401k and let that be your risk bucket. So you're going, we talk about it, sounds cliche, but you got green bucket money and risk bucket money. Let your risk bucket money be your 401k. Let your green bucket money be outside your 401k, because you typically can't have green bucket money in a 401k unless you're sitting in a stable value fund. And I don't think anyone should do that inside of a 401k.
And with all of these strategies, which is one more thing with barely a minute here, would you even encourage people, let's say they're 62, 63, 64, to possibly use that risk bucket, the 401k, to ask their organization, the 401k provider, if they have a Roth 401k, creating a tax-free bucket?
For sure. If you have access to a Roth 401k, you should absolutely consider contributing to the Roth 401k. No question about it.
All right. Call the phone number, folks, right now. I know that it sounds, we're throwing a lot of different topics out there right now. And perhaps you're thinking to yourself, I've got a person already. I mean, I know my person over at this big box firm, and I've got my CPA, or got somebody who helps me with insurance questions when I want to. Do you have somebody who actually pulls all of these strategies together, though? The estate planning, the healthcare conversations, even how and when to take your Social Security. Holistic planning doesn't just mean the investments. It's talking about everything in your situation. And if you don't have that for yourself, give us a call. There's no cost to sit down with the team. There's no cost to get started on your written, certified financial plan. 844-944-7555. Team here. Type in the word plan into your text feature. Then when you're trying to figure out where to send it, 21000. It's that simple. Hit send. We'll set up the appointment for you. More with Ryan Wheelis when we get back right after this.